I'm Marcin, and today for something completely different and Essen release, yeah! Oh, probably 90% of the games from 2010 came from Essen, so another game from Essen, the Vulgari Eloquentia. This is a game with really unique and interesting theme. It's a game about creating Vulgari language. It was a language that was a base for Italian, and it was created from certain dialects, so each player would try to influence the creating of this language, and mechanics here are really thematic, but there are a lot of them. So it can be pretty interesting game if you're interested in the history. So, well, let's see how the game is played. This is how Vulgari Eloquentia for free player setups looks like. It's pretty complicated. I won't describe it because the game also has a lot of mechanics, and I won't describe all of it. But mainly you have to draw certain cubes which represent some people like politicians, noblemen, abbesses, and oh my god, scribes. It's called something else in the rulebook. I don't remember how. Amanuensis, something like that. Sorry, I don't know this English word. And what we've got here is on the main board we've got Italy divided into some areas. They are color coded, which represent certain dialects that were used in those regions, and we will travel around Italy gathering knowledge, gathering money, studying manuscripts from those certain areas to gather at the end of the game the most Vulgari points. Those Vulgari points will mean how much we learned the Vulgari and how much influence we had on the creation of the Vulgari language. Basically, in some turn order, each player has 5 actions he or she can spend on the board. Each action we can take is marked by such circles, and here we've got how many actions we can spend here, if it's 1 or 4, and sometimes if we have to spend some money for this action. The basic action is movement, but at the beginning of the turn here we've got some events that will pop up somewhere on the board. So for example, here is an event in Bologna, so we just place it in Bologna, and if someone will travel there, he or she can use this event and gather. For example, here is +4. Focus. Okay. I hope. Oh, here +4 knowledge. Sometimes you can gather some money. So movement. You can spend from 1 to 5 actions for movement, and let's say I'm a black player. Each player starts in some neutral regions, because in each region we get some cathedrals, or I don't know, we can gather some money or knowledge. So if I spend 1 action, I can move into adjacent region. If I want to move further, of course I can spend more actions and move further, but if I spend more than 1 action on a movement, I have to pay 10 ducati. I can also travel by the sea. This will cost me even more actions. So for example, let's say I've just moved here. Then before or after my movement, I can gather some money or knowledge from this region. So for example, here in Brindisi, I can gather 15 ducati. I'll mark that I've already been here and get some money from there. For example, in Napoli, I can get 30 ducati and 7 knowledge. And basically, and if there is an event, I can also use it. It's 1 time for 1 player, but in those regions, each player can has his own marker. but each player can only gather this bonus from region only once. If I take some knowledge, I mark it on this track. It's a knowledge track, and what it means, it's a level of our knowledge. Each player begins with level 1 of knowledge, and there is a 2, and even there is a 3 somewhere here, a level 4, and even a level 8. Because what we can do with this is to study manuscripts. Those manuscripts are also divided by level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I have, for now, a level 1 knowledge, I can only study those manuscripts from level 1. This costs me 1 point, but I have to be in a region that is the same color. So for example here, now I'm in Napoli, right? It's a green manuscript, so I can take it. It will give me 1 Vulgari point at the end of the game. And level 2 will cost me 2 actions, etc, etc. Other actions I can take, well, I can do some small business and take 10 Ducati. I can study some manuscripts and take 3 or 4 knowledge. Then I can try to influence some people here. It will cost me 1 or 4 actions. Basically, it's here we've got the first round, so we've got here politicians, noblemen, abbesses, and a scribe. Let's call him a scribe man. So I can take any of those cubes, of course, for actions. For example, if I want to take a politician, I'll have to spend 1 action and 30 Ducati to take 1 cube, 4 actions and 60 Ducati for 2 cubes. Easy. For noblemen, I don't have to pay anything. I take this cube and I put it behind my screen. Here we've got a screen. It's secret how many cubes each player has. Money is not secret. And those cubes will earn us some vote points. Here's a mistake. A red cube is 3 vote points, black is 2, yellow is 1. Green cubes we place not behind our screen but next to it. And those vote points will allow us to become, for example, a pope, and this will give me a lot of Vulgari points. But I have to be a cardinal to become a pope or camerolingo because each player starts as a merchant. So if I want to become a friar or cardinal, I can become a banker at the end of the game. It will cost me 7 vote points, for example, 2 red and 1 yellow cube to become a banker, and it will give me 6 Vulgari points. How you become a friar or a cardinal? Here we've got some spots on a board. Here I can become a friar. So I just choose what kind of friar I will become. There are 5 of them. They have some certain abilities like knowledge or virtual cube. There is a drawback for this because if I'm a friar or cardinal, I can't gather money. For example, from Napoli, I can't gather money from the board. But at the beginning of the game, I get the charity for the most wealthy merchant in the game. So one other player will give me some money, or the bank will give me money if he's poorer than me. If I am a friar, I can become a cardinal. I can become a cardinal here, and of course I choose what kind of cardinal I will become. But this will focus again. But this will cost me some money and some vote points. But also it will give me something like 4 knowledge. Here will Cardinal Lanzuini will give me 6 Vulgari points, and here Cardinal Mure will give me a 6th action. so it can be pretty huge, and the charity will be even bigger for me if I'm a cardinal. And there are also other actions, those 4 actions at the top of the board. Here we've got a secret from Verona or something like this. I can spend actions if I'm in a blue area and move my marker in this track. The player who will advance most to the right, so he or she will earn 4, 5 or 6 Vulgari points. I can study in a university in Bologna, and it will give me some knowledge. I can, from 12th turn, I can study in a papal library, and in this way earn some more Vulgari point. And in a Franciscan city, I can study or help to write Canticle of the Sun. There are some special places in this game where I can do this. For example, here in the 2nd turn in Urbino, I can do this action only. In the 6th in Celano, in 10th Gubbio, in 11th in Assini. So you have, and it can be pretty big, because the player who will advance most in this track will earn 9 Vulgari points. The second will earn 4 Vulgari points. And basically that's it. The game will last from 13 to 16 rounds, because when the markers move here, well, we see what will happen. If it's white, nothing happens. If it's red, it means that the Pope is dying. If we will go further and the second red token will pop up, this means the Pope dies. Each player travels to Roma, and this is the last turn. And at the end of the turn, we've got some, we can become, like I said, a monk, a camerlingo, a pope. This is made by spending those vote points. We can gather, if we still have the most vote points, then we have 3 Vulgari points for each green cube. We get 1 Vulgari points for manuscripts, for being the most wealthy, for those actions I've already talked, like Canticle of the Sun, etc., etc. So there are a lot of ways to gather Vulgari points in this game. And as you can see, there is a lot going on in this game, and I didn't even talk about everything. Like, here's a merchant track, here's a rest track to change turn order. There is a lot to this game, but I hope you know basically how the game will play. You'll just travel around the board, gather some knowledge, study manuscripts, take another actions to gather Vulgari points at the end of the game. Whew. That was a lot. There are a lot of mechanics here. They work pretty well, and after the first game I was pretty impressed with the theme, the mechanics that are interlocked with the theme, but after a few more plays it started to feel not that deep, because main thing you're trying to do is just travel around the map, gather knowledge and read the manuscripts. It's the main source of your Vulgari points. In the meantime, you will become a friar or a cardinal, or maybe not. Well, you can win a game being a cardinal or being a merchant, so that's okay. But the more of those mechanics, like Canticle of the Sun and Secret from Verona, they are thematic, they are historic accurate, but in the play, well, there is only one player, for example, that will gather Vulgari points from Verona, from Secret from Verona. So if you will spend many actions in this region, maybe someone will spend even more, you will lose and you will earn no Vulgari points. So maybe it's not that good idea to invest in this region and do something else with your actions. So basically, it's not that deep as I thought at the beginning. Well, there's not a lot of interaction in this game. There's more of a racing in this game than interaction. So you try to take certain manuscripts before other players will take, or buy cubes before other players will buy them, etc. etc. It's a good game. I can't say it's a bad game because the mechanics works. There are interesting theme, but then again, I would like to play this game maybe once in 4 months. Then it will feel fresh for me. But it's not a game I would like to play again and again and again. I have to talk a little bit about the rulebook. A rulebook I've got with this game is not a newest version. There is in the internet there is a newer version of this with some rules explained a little better, but there are still arguments how certain elements of the game should be played, because it's not clear in this rulebook and the designer is not present on BGG, so there are still questions unanswered and you will have to just make a decision how some elements will be played. If the cubes will be moved to the same spot or to the next one, and it can be a problem for someone. For now, this game is for me a 6 out of 10, so it's a good game, but I don't think it has a lot of staying power. As I said, I can play it from time to time, but I've got better games with similar mechanics and with interesting themes. But this theme is very interesting. Well, in what game you can become a pope, right? So try it. I don't think you should buy it blindly, but if you're interested in the theme, maybe it's a game for you. Well, that's all. See you next time. Bye.